Greetings, friends. Today we explore a situation many men have faced: how to respond when a woman ignores you. But we will not approach this from bitterness or wounded pride. Instead, we turn to the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy to preserve our self-respect, confidence, and personal growth. The Stoics were never concerned with controlling external events. Their focus was always on mastering their internal responses. As Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the principles and notions which they form concerning things." When someone ignores us, feelings of rejection, hurt, or anger may arise. Yet the Stoic path reminds us that the disturbance does not come from the event itself, but from the judgments we attach to it. We always retain the power to choose how we interpret what happens. In this discussion, we will examine practical Stoic strategies for emotional control, self-worth, confidence, and growth. We will learn to avoid the trap of seeking validation from others and instead concentrate on becoming stronger versions of ourselves. Even if Stoicism is new to you, do not worry. These teachings are profound, yet simple, and we will apply them to a very modern challenge: being ignored by someone we are romantically interested in. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. So let us begin cultivating that mindset together. Keep an open mind as we explore how Stoic resilience empowers us in situations like this. 1. The Stoic approach to emotional control. Our journey begins inward. Composure is not found in controlling others, but in mastering our own minds. Marcus Aurelius declared, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When a woman ignores you, unpleasant emotions may surface: hurt, insecurity, frustration. But the Stoics would insist that these emotions originate not from her behavior, but from your interpretation of it. We are not disturbed by reality itself, but by our view of that reality. Consider a different example. You prepare diligently for a job interview but do not receive the position. How do you respond? Do you spiral into self-doubt? Or do you view it objectively as one outcome among countless possibilities in your journey? The Stoics faced misfortune like anyone else. Their strength lay in separating external events from their internal experience of them. They understood they could not control every situation, but they could control their mindset. Imagine approaching an attractive woman at a bar. You introduce yourself, and she turns away indifferently. Objectively, what occurred? A stranger declined your approach. That is all. The emotional pain arises from the story you tell yourself afterward, that you are inadequate, unattractive, or inferior. These interpretations generate the suffering. The Stoic response is to pause. Perhaps she is in a relationship. Perhaps she is distracted. Perhaps she had a difficult day. The possible explanations are endless, and none of them define your inherent worth. Her reaction says more about her current state than about you. By separating facts from interpretation, you reclaim control. Observe your thoughts without judging them. When the mind begins spinning negative narratives, press pause. Ask yourself, as Marcus Aurelius did, what is the nature of this thing in itself? Beneath the sting to the ego, is there real harm? Or is this simply a brief social interaction with no lasting significance? With practice, perspective replaces impulsive emotion. Like strengthening a muscle, this discipline grows through repetition, and the reward is priceless: an unshaken mind in moments that once would have unsettled you. When faced with indifference, remember this: you cannot control her behavior, but you can control your response. Will you allow emotions to overtake you, or will you maintain inner calm? The choice is always yours. 2. Focusing on self-worth and avoiding pedestals. At the heart of Stoicism lies a firm belief in inherent human worth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Too often, we derive our sense of value from external sources, relationships, status, admiration, but true self-respect must originate within. It cannot depend on someone else's approval. Modern culture complicates this. Social media encourages performance and validation seeking. Likes and attention become measures of self-worth. But these are merely surfaces, not essence. Imagine speaking with a woman at a party and sensing initial connection. Then her friends arrive, and her demeanor shifts. She becomes distant, perhaps even dismissive. It is easy to interpret this as a verdict on your worth. But ask yourself, have the objective facts about who you are changed? Or is this simply someone reacting to social pressure? When you place your value in another's hands, you give them power over your peace. Epictetus advised us to make the best use of what is in our control and accept the rest as it happens. A woman's admiration is not within your control. Therefore, it cannot be the foundation of your self-esteem. Your worth was not established by this interaction. It was formed by the virtues you have cultivated, your character, discipline, integrity, and strengths. Do not put anyone on a pedestal. When you elevate someone above yourself, you surrender equality and inner balance. Recognize that everyone operates from their own insecurities and limitations. Her disregard reflects her lens, not your value. Reflect on your strengths. Recall your accomplishments. Remember moments when you acted with integrity and courage. Root your identity in these foundations. When self-worth flows from within, another's dismissal becomes insignificant. Their behavior cannot penetrate what you have built internally. Remain anchored in the ethical core of who you are. By living with wisdom and integrity daily, you honor the only judgment that truly matters, your own reasoned conscience. 3. Developing a mindset of self-sovereignty. The Stoics did not promote arrogance. They taught equality rooted in self-mastery. As Epictetus stated, no man is free who is not master of himself. This does not mean looking down on others. It means refusing to see yourself as inferior. In modern life, it is easy to internalize hierarchies, beauty, income, popularity. Suppose you approach an attractive colleague and she responds with cold indifference. A voice inside might whisper that she is out of your league. But whose league is that? Certainly not one grounded in Stoic reasoning. When you assign superiority based on superficial metrics, you surrender your sovereignty. Epictetus described the inner self as an impregnable citadel. External slights may knock at its gates, but they cannot breach it without your consent. If someone ignores you, ask, does this alter my character? Does it damage my virtue? If not, then it has no true power over me. You can even go further. Rather than harbor resentment, extend goodwill. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Respond not with insecurity or retaliation, but with composure. Her behavior reflects her state of mind. Yours reflects your character. This mindset of self-sovereignty is not ego. It is grounded equality. You stand firm not because you believe yourself superior, but because you know your worth is not determined externally. Maintain your dignity. Carry yourself with calm self-possession. When you interact from this inner citadel, her interest or disinterest becomes neutral information, not validation, not condemnation. With practice, no one's regard or disregard can disturb your equilibrium. 4. Demonstrating mutual respect and confidence. Closely connected to self-sovereignty is the ability to remain respectful and confident even when faced with disregard. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." When a woman ignores you or behaves rudely, the instinct may be to retaliate, to mirror her indifference with coldness or contempt. But this reaction diminishes you more than it affects her. The Stoics understood that your response reflects your character, not hers. Imagine being out with friends and repeatedly encountering women who respond to you with disinterest. They avoid eye contact, glance at their phones, perhaps even whisper and laugh. Your ego feels bruised. The urge to lash out or withdraw in visible offense is strong. But ask yourself, what is gained by escalating the situation? You may experience brief emotional release, but you sacrifice composure and dignity. The Stoics believe that the less a person is troubled by insult, the stronger their character. True confidence does not need retaliation. It remains steady. Instead of reacting with bitterness, respond with politeness and calm detachment. Treat others with the respect you value. Regardless of their conduct, her negativity reveals her insecurities, not your inadequacy. Epictetus advised that if you wish to progress, you must be willing to appear foolish or indifferent in the eyes of others. Not everyone will respond warmly to your friendliness. Expect that some will meet openness with coldness. The Stoic response is not withdrawal or aggression, but inner stability. Confidence in Stoicism does not come from approval. It comes from integrity. Musonius Rufus taught that confidence arises from living a vigorous and truthful life. Reflect on the virtues you have developed, the discipline you apply to your work, the loyalty you show friends, the resilience you have cultivated in adversity. Recall moments when you acted with integrity. These are the foundations of real self-esteem. Now imagine carrying that earned confidence into situations where someone treats you dismissively. You do not react defensively. You do not shrink. You maintain dignity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You shouldn't give circumstances the power to rouse anger, for they don't care at all." Her behavior does not require you to abandon your nobility. With practice, disregard will cease to disturb your calm self-assurance. You will respond with the same ease whether met with warmth or indifference. This is strength, not domination, not ego, but unwavering self-possession. 5. Avoiding the trap of seeking attention. A major danger the Stoics warned against is the endless pursuit of external validation. As Epictetus said, man is disturbed not by things, but by the views he takes of them. When you attach your self-worth to the attention of others, especially romantic interests, you place your peace at risk. Their shifting opinions begin to dictate your emotional state. Modern social media amplifies this tendency. Carefully curated images compete for approval through likes and comments. If engagement is low, we interpret it as a verdict on our value. Suppose you begin chatting with a woman online. At first, she responds enthusiastically, then suddenly her replies slow, grow shorter, or stop altogether. You reread conversations, analyzing every word. You wonder what you did wrong. Pause. What actually happened? Messages were sent. Messages were not returned. That is all. The distress arises from the meaning you assign to those events. Her level of interest does not alter your inherent worth. It is merely data. The Stoic learns to observe such data without attachment. Seneca advised living each day as a complete life. From that perspective, her temporary attention or lack of it becomes a minor detail in a much larger journey. When you obsess over someone's approval, you unconsciously place them on a pedestal. This creates imbalance. You become needy, hyper-aware, anxious about maximizing admiration. Genuine connection becomes strained. The Stoic alternative is grounded self-validation. View her interest or indifference with calm neutrality. Neither celebrate excessively nor despair. Maintain equanimity. When you emanate ease and self-sufficiency, you create space for authentic connection to emerge naturally, or not. But your peace remains intact either way. By detaching from the craving for attention, you reclaim freedom. Your mind is no longer governed by fluctuating signals of approval. Guard your mind from external disturbance. Allow passing interest or ghosting to move through your awareness like clouds drifting across a steady sky. This discipline requires practice, yet through it, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of seeking validation. you discover a deeper stability that no external praise or silence can disturb. 6. Shifting focus to personal growth. At the core of Stoic philosophy lies a powerful truth: our deepest fulfillment must come from within, not from the attention or approval of others. Seneca wrote that many people are slaves to lust, greed, ambition, or fear. True freedom belongs only to the one who is not enslaved by these impulses. When we become overly attached to romantic validation, we willingly surrender our emotional independence. Our mood rises and falls with another person's interest. The Stoics saw this as a form of self-imposed captivity. Consider a common modern situation. After a breakup, instead of turning inward, you rush to seek new attention to repair wounded pride. You download dating apps, pursue new flirtations, and measure your worth by the responses you receive. But this pattern only reinforces dependence on external affirmation. Each match or compliment becomes emotionally loaded. You swing between elation and disappointment based on factors beyond your control. The Stoic path directs you elsewhere. Rather than chasing validation, invest your energy into strengthening your character. Seneca emphasized that virtue must not only be studied, but practiced. Channel your focus into growth. Begin developing a skill you have long neglected. Study philosophy. Improve your physical health. Strengthen your discipline. Deepen your emotional intelligence. Build something meaningful. This inward cultivation creates a foundation that cannot be shaken by romantic outcomes. A rejection may sting briefly, but it cannot threaten your identity when your identity is rooted in virtue and progress. Imagine attending a social gathering. Instead of radiating needy desire for connection, you enter centered and composed. You are not there to extract validation. You are there to live according to your values, to be patient, thoughtful, courageous, and authentic. If connection arises naturally, you welcome it. If it does not, you leave content, knowing you acted in alignment with your principles. This shift requires retraining old habits. Many of us are conditioned to chase dopamine rewards from attention and admiration. But Stoicism teaches deliberate detachment from such fleeting stimuli. Epictetus reminded us that beneath status and social signals lies a deeper rational essence. When you observe your reactions mindfully, you begin to see that much of your distress comes from ego-driven cravings, not from any genuine harm. By strengthening your ability to observe emotions without identifying with them, you loosen the grip of approval seeking. You return to self-mastery. The Stoics viewed the pursuit of wisdom and virtue as the highest human endeavor. Romantic success becomes incidental, pleasant when present, irrelevant when absent. To call your life your own is a blessing. To owe that life to your self-mastery is an even greater blessing. Redirect your ambition toward growth that cannot be taken from you. Become disciplined. Become knowledgeable. Become resilient. When your sense of worth comes from steady self-improvement, you gain access to a happiness that is not dependent on anyone's response. Being ignored no longer destabilizes you. It simply becomes another event, neutral, passing, inconsequential to your deeper trajectory.